Okay, so this video is gonna be about how to clean the blade of a carbon steel knife, like this MORA knife that I have right here, and also how to sharpen it. And the first thing that you have to do is get yourself some sandpaper. This is really fine sandpaper. I think it's 400 grit, and you need some water, a little bit of water. You can see in this knife how it's starting to get some rust from being stored in my pack for too long, not oiling it, and but no big deal. It's really simple and easy to fix that. So what you have to do is wet the blade slightly and very carefully using the sandpaper start cleaning the blade. You can see already how the rust is coming off, and you don't have to pay too much attention to the edge, because you will sharpen that later. So it's no point on getting like all the little spots in the blade, because you can do that with a sharpening stone. So just basically rub the sandpaper carefully, get all that rust out of the blade, put some more water, go to all the corners, maybe just a little bit on the edge. Be very careful not to cut your fingers. Now go to the other side. You can see the difference. This is the clean side. This is the rusty side. So again, wet your fingers, run them across the blade. Be very careful with the edge, and same process. It's better if it's a really fine piece of sandpaper, because that way you won't scratch the blade so much. I mean, you're gonna lose the shine that it comes with when you purchase the knife, but in my opinion, I like the way a well-used blade looks like. See, I'm not a big fan of show knives. I'm more of a practical guy. I love knives that show that they've been used and abused. Of course, taking good care of them. And a little bit here near the handle. You can do the same thing, for example, here with this guard thing for the handle. You can see it's also a little rusty. You can do the same thing with it, just to clean it up if you want to. If not, you can leave it like that, no big deal. Give it a little cleaning. Maintenance is very important on your knife. A sharp, well-maintained knife is a lot safer than a dull knife, because you have more control over it. A dull blade, you have to push harder to cut, and that's when the accidents happen. If it's sharp, it should go through wood like butter. your carving. Okay, now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hone the edge. You can see that I have a big dent right here for batoning. This is caused by I was batoning a piece of wood that had a nail in the middle that I didn't see, and this is the result. I'm gonna try with the sharpening diamond stone here, try to fix that as much as I can. And what you do with this kind of candy grind, this kind of edge, it's called candy grind, and it's a very wide angle. I think it's wide, yeah. And what you have to do is you place the blade flat on the stone, and then you tilt it until you feel the angle that's about right, and then you start going like this, as if you were trying to slice a little layer, a thin layer of the stone. Checking the angle every now and then, see if you got it right. It's too wet. And with practice you can do it a little faster. And go to the other side, do the same thing. Another way that you can do this is holding the knife still and then moving the stone on the edge, like this. Also be very careful to keep the right angle at the grind, so you don't mess up the candy grind. Check for sharpness. Go to the other side, same thing. Now for this kind of knife, I use a really fine grind on the sharpening stone. That's because it's always sharpish. If I use it a little, I just give it a little maintenance with a very fine stone, just to keep it sharp, always sharp. Be careful with your fingers, because if you slip, you can cut yourself really bad. Has happened to me before. Alternate to get the same amount of strokes on each side, well, more or less the same amount. Check for sharpness. A sharp blade feels really sticky, or I don't know how to say, rough when you go like this. Just slightly put your thumb on top of it and move it across, and you'll get the feel of it eventually. Comparing to dull blades and sharp blades, you'll get the feel of a sharp blade. So this is sharp enough. Dry it, because it's carbon steel, it'll rust. Dry it real well, really well. And another tip to prevent from rusting again is to put a little bit of cooking oil, just a drop. Put a drop of cooking oil, and then with your finger spread it all over the blade, and the same on the other side. Then just a paper towel and slightly wipe the excess off, and put it back in your sheath safely, and you have a knife ready to go. Thanks for watching.